Welcome to today's video, everyone. We'll be talking about upcoming heat for the West in parts of the Midwest, everyone. We're going to talk about extreme heat for maybe parts of California, Arizona, and even maybe parts of Nevada, maybe. And we're going to talk about heat for Kansas, Nebraska, and Texas. Let's get started. All right, we got Wednesday at 3 p.m., everyone. So, no, this is Wednesday, 3 p.m. my time, guys. So, for Kansas, this is 2 p.m. and 1 p.m. for Mountain Time. We can see got noon for parts of California is in the 90s. Parts of Kansas we can see is in the 70s. Oklahoma in the 80s. Texas in the 80s and 70s. Nebraska in the 60s and 70s. We can see in parts of Colorado in the 70s to mid 70s. Wyoming we can see in the 70s. Montana we can see in the 60s or 70s. Idaho we can see in the 70s. Nevada we can see in the 70s and 80s. We can see for today. You can see Wednesday at 2 p.m. for Central Time. Then we could see for 6 p.m. everybody. That would be 3 p.m. for California or 5 p.m. for Kansas. We can see Kansas is in the 80s. We can see 85 in Texas. Parts of California maybe near 103, 105 in Arizona, near 102, 103. Nevada near 90. We can see parts of San Francisco could look like we're in the mid 80s. We can see also parts of Oregon were in the 70s. Idaho were in the 70s. Parts of even Washington were in the 70s too. We can see in parts of Texas were in the 80s. So let's move on. So Wednesday at 9 p.m., 8 p.m. for Kansas. We can see 8 p.m. For 8 p.m. we can see also for Kansas we're in the 60s and 70s. It's 100 probably in California maybe at some parts. Nevada we're in the 90s. Parts of California were in 80s, Nevada 70s, Idaho 70s, and we got other parts in the 40s and 50s. Oregon were in the 70s, we can see. Texas were in the 60s. Oklahoma were in the 60s, we can see also on here. So, let's move on. All right. So, we got Thursday at 3 a.m. We can see for parts of Kansas in 1 a.m. Pacific time. 1 a.m. Pacific time, we're in the 70s for parts of California and even 80s. Kansas, we're in the 50s. Oklahoma, we're in the 50s. Texas, we're in the 60s for Thursday. We can see 40s in Oregon. 30s for Washington. Montana, we're in the 50s. Idaho, we're in the 40s and 50s. Utah, we're in the 50s and 60s. Arizona, we're in the 70s and 60s. We can see also on here 60s for parts of New Mexico. 40s and 50s for parts of Colorado. We can see also on there. So let's move on. All right. This froze everyone. So let me reload this. All right. So we got Thursday at 9 a.m. Everybody, we can see. So we can see 60s in Oklahoma, 60s in Kansas, 70s in California, Arizona, we're in the 70s. Nevada, we're in the 70s. Utah, we're in the 40s and 50s. Colorado, we're in the 30s and 40s and 50s. Nebraska, we're in the 50s in the morning. We can see also. Texas, we're in the 60s. And Oregon, we're in the 40s. In Washington, we're in the 50s too. We can see also on here. So let's go on to the next one. So. All right, by noon, we can really see the temperature starting to pick up. Kansas, we're in the 70s. Texas, we're in the 80s. We can see also on here. In Nebraska, we're in the 60s too. We can see in Arizona, we're in the 90s at 10 a.m. there. Utah, we're in the 60s and 70s. Idaho, we're in the 60s. California, we're in the 70s. Oregon, we're in the 60s too. We can see in Washington, we're in the 50s too. You can see in parts of New Mexico, we're in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and parts of Texas, we're in the middle 80s. So you can see too on here. So, let's move on, everybody. So, got 50s in parts of the mountains in Colorado. All right, Really by 2 p.m. in Texas we could have 90s. Even Kansas we could be in the 90s on Thursday. Parts of Kansas. We can see in Oklahoma we could maybe even have 87, 88 potentially in Kansas, even near 90 in some parts of Kansas and Oklahoma. We could have 90s too. Uh, Arizona we could have 100 probably in a lot of spots, 103, 101 in southern parts of California. Nevada, we could have 90s in Vegas, 70s in Nevada, 80s in California, and 90s and maybe even 100s too. We can see South Dakota, we're in 75, 77. Nebraska, we could even have 80 maybe too, potentially. You can see Oregon, we could have 70s. Washington, we could have 70s. Idaho, we could have 70s too. We can see on here. Also, on this map. So, then we really got our hottest point of the day like around 6 p.m. in Texas, we could have 90s. Oklahoma, we could even have 90s too. Even parts of California, we could have 107, almost 110 in some spots of Southern California. Then we got parts of Arizona, we could be in a 100 plus range. Nevada, we could be in the 90s and 80s and 70s. Utah, we could even have 80s. You can see Oregon, we could have 70s. Idaho, we could have 70s too. Parts of Montana, we can have 70s. North Dakota, we can even have 70s too. We can see also on here. So, even parts of New Mexico, we could have 90s too. We can see also. Alright, so this is Friday at 1 in the morning. We can see we got 60s in Kansas. Texas, we got 60s too. We can see also on here. California, we got 70s. We can see also. On Nevada, we got 70s too. We can see on here. So Utah, we got 60s too. Colorado, we got 40s and 50s. Wyoming, we got 50s too. We can see on here. In Washington, we got 30s too. Idaho, we got 50s. We can see. Washington, we got 40s and 50s. Oregon, we got 50s. California, we got 60s. Texas, we got 60s. Oklahoma, we got 60s. Kansas, we got 60s. And Nebraska, too, we can see on here. So, you can see for New Mexico, we got 60s and 70s and 50s in parts of Colorado, too. So, let's move on. Alright, so Friday at 9 a.m. again, we got 70s in Kansas, we can see. California, we got 80s. Arizona, we got 80s. Utah, we got 60s. Colorado, we got 60s. Montana, we got 50s. Idaho, we got 40s. We can see also, then we can see in parts of Wyoming, we got 50s. Idaho, we got 40s. We can see Utah, we can see 60s. Nevada, Vegas, we got 70s, mid 70s. Parts of Arizona, we got 80s. We can see New Mexico, we got 70s and 60s. We can see parts of okay, then we can see parts of Oregon, we're in the 50s. So let's move on. So okay, Friday by 1 p.m. we can see we got 90s in Texas. Parts of California, we're in 101, 102. Arizona, we're 100 plus 2. Texas, we're in the 90s. Kansas, we're in the mid 80s, 87 in some spots. Oklahoma, we're near 90. Texas, we're in the 90s too. We can see also Utah, we're in the 70s. Nevada, we're in the 70s. Montana, we're in the 70s. Wyoming, we're in the 60s too. Idaho, we're in the 70s. And Washington, we're in the 70s too. In Oregon, we're in the 70s too. We can see a lot in some places too. Alright, everyone. So, our main heat of the day, Friday at 5 p.m. We can see in Texas in the mid 90s. Oklahoma, we're in. Have some 95, 92. You can see Arizona, we could have 105, 106, 107 in some places in Southern California. Vegas, we can be in the mid 90s. Parts of Nevada, we're in the 70s and 80s. Utah, we're in the 70s and 80s. Idaho, we're in the 70s and 80s too. Washington, we're in the, could be have some 70s. Oregon, we could have some 70s too. North Dakota, we could have some 60s and 70s. We can see Nebraska, we could have even some 80s too. Kansas, we could even have near almost 90 in some parts, potentially in Kansas too. You can see for Friday. So, alright, so let's really start cooling things down around. So, this is Friday at 9 p.m. We got 60s in Kansas, 70 in Texas, parts of Arizona. This is this is 8 p.m. over there. We got 80s and 90s in California, Arizona. We can see in some spots 70s too. Nevada, we're in the 70s and 80s. Utah, we're in the 60s and 70s. Idaho, we're in the 60s too. Oregon, we're in the 60s. In Washington, we could be in the 50s and 60s too. In Montana, we could even have some 70s at night too. So for South Dakota, we could be in the 60s. North Dakota, we could be in the 40s and 50s and 60s too. This depends. Nebraska, we could be in the 60s. Texas, we could be in the 70s too. So this will be wrapping up for this video, everyone. I hope you enjoyed watching, everyone. Thank you for watching. I see you guys in the next video.